Alright guys, I am back for a second video about the GW2 infusions. As promised, in today's video we're going to be doing the following things. I am going to be talking about how to acquire the infusions. I am going to be telling you about some of my favorite mix and matches that can be made at different price points. And we are going to be having a draw to see who is the winner of the gems giveaway. And after that, I'll be announcing some other funsies. But before all of that, here's the intro. And now we are back to the screen time. As you can see, some people are just jumping around me, but we're going to be ignoring them and focusing on the matter at hand. Matter at hand, that is, how to acquire the infusions. Of course, most of them can be acquired on the trading post. Now, that's not necessarily what you guys are going to be wanting to do, because you might want to get them on your own. Or you might just not want to use a trading post because it is a tool used by the capitalistic TP barons to make everything more expensive to you. However, let me just tell you that most of the time, you're better off buying them on the trading post. I'm not saying that you cannot get them by your own means, but I'm saying that most of the time it's either not worth it on a time basis or not worth it on a money spent basis, because most of the infusions are locked behind RNG. Only one of them that you actually can't really buy is available through regular means. That one is the Coda's Warmth that I have equipped currently. As I said before, it is tied to a collection, a rare one. I'm just gonna look for it rather quickly. It shouldn't be too far from here. Coda's Blessing, there we go. That's how you get the Coda's Warmth enrichment. You just have to use Coda's offerings at specific spots throughout Tyria. And a Coda's offering, you can either craft them on your own or you can buy them on the trading post. They're pretty cheap. It's less than that to craft them, so it's definitely something you can get done on your own. Now, of course, the other infusions are expensive. You can get them on your own, but that would entail participating in meta events. For the first part of them, for the second part of them, you're gonna have to do RNG bag opening. So that's what I meant by you're better off buying them on the trading post, because you're gonna spend more money than the infusion is currently worth trying to acquire them on your own. What I mean by this, for example, we're going to be talking about the ones you can acquire in RNG bags first, is let's say you want to get yourself a Winter's Heart infusion. So to get a Winter's Heart infusion, that's the infusion that you can see over here, you would either be paying about 750 to 900 gold, or you would be opening some Winter's Day gifts. Now, Winter's Day gifts are quite expensive because we're like far from winter counting backwards, but the item you want, the Winter's Heart infusion, is part of the super rare category. Getting a roll in super rare category is already quite lucky, and then it has to compete with every other item in here. I personally never got a single infusion from Winter's Day gifts, and I opened 100,000 of them. I can be not lucky at all, but that's what RNG means. If you want to get your hands on a specific infusion and it costs less than 1,000 gold, definitely buy it on your own. Like, this is going to be much more efficient than buying thousands of gifts and then realizing it's not going to work out. We're talking about 10,000 gifts to match the price of the infusion currently on the trading post. Once again, we're far from Winter's Day, so like you're better off just waiting if you want to buy one for when Winter's Day is actually going to occur. And in 10,000 gifts, you're most probably not going to be getting the infusion that you want. Most of the cheap infusions that you can get are in RNG bags. That's the reason why they are cheaper, because the way to acquire them, one tied to RNG, is also much easier to get a hold of with the size of our community, of the Guild Wars 2 player base, because like everyone is going to be opening these containers during festivals, and as such, supply is going to be created either way. Now, as I said, you're much better off buying them. Like, you can buy order them during the event on which they mostly drop, and you're more than guaranteed the chance to get one. Just refresh your buy order often enough, and you're going to get your hands onto one. Now, of course, if you want to go for the more expensive infusions, you're also better off buying them on the trading post. The reasoning behind this is that while I do see people around me dropping them, and I know that the drop rate isn't so bad that it never drops, you still have an extremely low chance of getting them on your own. If you would be doing these meta events every day diligently, you won't have a chance of dropping it, but trust me, if you want to get them, it's better for you to be working on acquiring enough gold to either buy order them on the trading post or to get them on GW2 exchange. Now, when we look at the price of these infusions, they are topping off the prices on the trading post. Like you have the Queen Bee infusion between 6 and 8k. You have the liquid Aurelium infusion that is also very expensive, and the other infusions like the Czech Exact, the Confetti, the Crystal infusion. These are not even on the trading post. Like, if I were to look for the Crystal infusion, you would see that we only have buy orders. We don't even have a sell listing for these. It's the same for the Czech Exact. Like Czech Exact, Czech infusions, we don't have a single one that can be listed because we have buy orders at 10,000 for the rest. Like, nobody in their right mind would sell them directly here when they could sell them on GW2 exchange. But some of them do, because they aren't aware of the existence of the subreddit, and as such, your best luck to get it for cheap will be to just queue up, in a sense, with a buy order at 10,000 and just hope that 29 sell and then it's your turn to get one. Now, of course, this means that acquiring the more expensive infusions and making a look centered around them is not something that you're going to want to go for. When you want to make an infusion theme for your character, you don't want to go for something that is too expensive to get your hands on and in quantity. Because as we said in the previous video, when you want to get the most mileage of your infusions, you want to be able to stack them. And stacking Czech Exacts means spending anything between 32,000 to 45,000 gold. And not everybody is going to do that. Of course, same goes for the Confetti. Crystal infusion is a bit cheaper, but same goes once again. If you want to make infusions themes that actually can match what you want to spend for them, now is the part of the video for you. We're going to be talking about infusion themes, and we're going to be talking specifically about sets that I think go well together and could match also some armor and weapons that you guys would want to use. So, for example, as I said in the previous video, I went for both fiery and golden on this character. This is my main. This is what I wanted for my main. This is the look I wanted to go for since the get-go. And this is what I will be settling with until some more infusions are released that I want. Like, for example, the Amber infusion, I really wanted it, so I bought 2 of them. That way I can look dashingly amazing. But now, let's talk about some infusion themes that can be made for cheap by pretty much anyone, and that you can then try and match weapons around with. So for that purpose, I'm going to be unequipping and re-equipping some specific trinkets that I have to show you what I want to go for. For the infusions that I don't currently own, I'm just going to tell you that they match well together, and then it's going to be your role to try and do it. See if you can get what you want, and if it does match your taste. So I think that the cheapest infusion theme you can go for will be something that looks a little bit toxic. When I say toxic, I don't mean elitist by any mean. What I mean by toxic is something that does look like a little bit poisonous, you know. For that purpose, going for example with a phospholuminescent infusion and then adding a green polysaturating infusion and a gray reverberating infusion would be a very good pick in my eyes. I think that this is definitely the cheapest you can go for. If you check the trading post for it, the prices on these are very low because we just had Halloween happen. So like now would be a good time still to place buy orders or try to snatch them at a cheap point, but phospholuminescent, 300 gold. That's definitely affordable, right? Then you would be adding a green pulley, 120 gold, pretty cheap. 105 gold here even. That's definitely affordable once again. And finally, I said a gray reverberating. That's 90 gold. Still pretty affordable, right? What you need to realize, however, is that whenever you're going to be using a polysaturating reverberating with the other poly infusions, the polyluminescent ones, you're going to be in a situation where the infusions are going to be clashing at a, let's say at a UI level. That means that if you don't unequip them and then re-equip them, you are going to be having only one of the infusions showing. So you need to go back to the equipment UI and then take out the trinket, put it back in, just so that the infusions do that. Them cancelling each other out happens at every map change or map load. So if you're changing a map and want to look dashingly amazing, swap trinkets out and back in. So that would be it for the cheapest set, the one I call the toxic one, and that does look very poisonous. Weapons that can go well with this, theme-wise, would be the scientific weapons, in my eyes. They're also not too expensive at the moment, because they got re-released quite shortly before. And for example, like if you have a look at them, they have the same green effect and would match very nicely together. Now, the second theme that I would be talking about would be the icy theme. So a lot of characters that people make go for icy themes. Indeed, it's pretty easy. We have Winter's Day weapons, we have the glacial weapon skins, we have Frostfang, which is a very nice legendary. I mean, I'm using it. We have quite a bit of weapons, outfits, armor sets that can match the whole icy theme already. So when it comes to the infusions, what would you do? Personally, I would go for a Snow Diamond, because I prefer the effect of Snow Diamond. It makes your entire skin look like ice. I really like it. But some other people might prefer the Winter's Heart. The Winter's Heart gives you some aura that looks like the air is getting chilly around you. And both of these are a very good starter for an icy theme. What I would say, however, is that you cannot mix them together. You either go for one or the other. If you use both together, it's a bit too much. But that's only my opinion. Like, opinions vary and tastes vary as well. If you like to use both, please be my guest. As said before, they're gonna get to their cheapest during Winter's Day, so if you want to go for an icy theme, I would advise to wait it out. And when it comes to equipping them a little bit, I'm gonna be showing you that. So we're gonna be taking off my trinkets, we're gonna be taking off the armor as well. And then when it comes to equipping the trinkets, I have my Snow Diamond right here. It's like the Snow Diamond makes your body look like it is made of ice. And then what I would add on top of that would be a like a teal polyluminescent. So that's gonna make the skin look even a little bit bluer. But that's only if you like it that way. Like, don't feel forced to go that way at all. And then I would actually add a purple reverberating, because the purple reverberating actually looks rather blue in some cases, and as such makes for a good addition onto that skin. Now I have like a blue polysaturating reverberating infusion, but it's in my guild bank, so I'm not gonna bother to go and fetch it. I'm just gonna show you what would happen if you add a poly teal and a poly gray on top of that. So like, as you can see right now, the skin got bluer, and I have the whole gray outline around the clothing of my character. Now I think that this makes a very good starter for an icy theme, because you get the icy aura around you. You get the black enhancement that would be blue otherwise, and then you can just mix and match weapons that would go relatively well with it. For example, as I said, You might want to go to your wardrobe, get yourself a Frost Fang, and that would go quite nicely with this set. Of course, you can also just not use the teal, you can also use the Winter's Heart. Winter's Heart goes very well with Frost Fang as well. These are just ideas. So, before we were talking price-wise about 500 gold for your Toxic set. This set would cost you between 600 to 1000 gold, depending on when you get the infusions. Like if you want to get the reverbs, now is the time. If you want to get the Winter's Heart or the Snow Diamond, the time is in a month and a half from now. But really, all that matters is that you make a choice on which ones you want to get and then set out exactly for that. Like, just try and find videos on YouTube of people mixing and matching infusions so that you have an accurate idea of which ones you want to get for your character. Going back to being naked, and now that we have talked about the first two cheapest infusion themes that I had in mind, we're moving on to the more expensive ones. So the more expensive ones, I would say the fiery set. So for the fiery set, what I would recommend would be a Coda's Warmth, an Amber Infusion, and an Orange Poly. These goes very well together. And then if you want to go even one step further, you could go fully crazy and put a red reverb as well. Now, the price of the entirety of this set is way higher than what we were talking about previously, but in my opinion, it is well worth it if you want to go fiery. So, you'll have to excuse me because I have my my Ember and my Chak on the same back piece, and I don't exactly want to extract them because it's gonna fuck up my build templates a wee bit, so we're just gonna roll with it and have the check egg effect around me. So as you can see, Ember Infusion looks pretty good already by itself. And then if we add the other elements, so we're gonna add the... we're first gonna be going for the Coda's Warmth, so that you can see what I mean by having that flamey effect in the middle. And already with these two, you have a solid base for a fiery theme. That will cost you about 2.5k gold just to look like this. So this is the starter. And then if you want to take it one step further, you put an extra 100 gold in, and you go with that orange poly right there. As you can see, it really enhances both the effect of Coda's Warmth and the effect of the Ember Infusion. This is a very good fiery set already. If you want to go a little bit crazier, you can add a red reverb. It's not mandatory, it's not necessary. I think that it's down to the taste of the people. Like, I personally wouldn't use it, but I've seen some people pulling it off, and I think that it is pretty good in that sense. Now, this is most definitely a look that I appreciate, and if I didn't like gold, I would have stopped there. However, since I really like gold, I went for the next infusion theme I'm going to be talking about, which is going to be the Be Golden set. So the Be Golden set is quite expensive. We're talking one or multiple Queen Bees, and then one or multiple Aureliums. The reasoning behind it is that I personally think that the effect on either a single Queen Bee or a single liquid Aurelium is very tame. So like if I put a single Queen Bee on, you can see that I have the trail, of course, but the number of bees around me is relatively low. Now if I put a second one on, you can see the effect is already increasing. I have much more bees coming in and out of my body, and this does look very good. The same goes with the Aurelium. So if I take both of these out and then equip one of my liquid Aureliums, you can see that I have the golden effects already showing up on my body. Now if I put a second one on, the effect goes much more noticeable. Now if I go in full armor, you can see that the golden effects really comes up. And that's what I like. That's the golden style that I like. And golden is a pretty easy thing to mix and match with either weapons or armor and colors. because golden can go well with red, it can go well with blue, it can go quite well with other lighter colors. You could even pull this off with the same weapons as I said for the icy set. And overall, this is something that really does work out nicely. By the way, speaking about the fiery set from earlier, weapons that will go with it quite well are obviously fused, primordius. You could also be going for like incinerator. You can be going for the new dagger as well. Of course, volcanus, other such weapons that have fiery effect like Titan's Vengeance. Personally, I think that Titan's Vengeance goes very well with the Ember Infusion. But yeah, that's the golden set right there. This is something that I set up to do right off the bat when I started my Infusion game, which was about a year and a half ago. I started getting really into Infusions and buying them up. And these were the first ones I went for, because I wanted to look golden. Now, these Infusions, as you can see, I don't have a skin-wide effect. I don't have an outline effect going with them. If you wanted to make something quite a bit crazy with these, I would say to use something like a blue celestial infusion, because blue and gold go very well together. Of course, that's up to you. I'm not gonna force it. Tastes do vary, as I said earlier, but just to give you an idea, if you want to go for a set like this, you're looking at spending something like between 9 and 18,000 gold, something like this. This is how much it would cost you to pull off exactly that amount of infusions, 18,000, but definitely using one of them would already be a good starter. However, as I said, the effect is very tame when you have only one of the iridium or one of the queen bees. So if you really have a lot of gold and want to start looking golden, going for 2 liquid aureliums is a very good pick. Queen bees can wait. They're noise, basically. So, iridium first. Now, this covers what I wanted to say about the expensive sets, but not too much. If you really want to show off that you're an extremely rich person, then you just take it one step higher. You go with like a check exac and a confetti infusion, and then you toss in a crystal power. Now the issue with that is that none of it really matches. These are infusions that individually look great, but together just look like you're a Christmas tree. Like, I already said, jokingly enough, that my character looked like a Christmas tree when I have everything on. But still, it looks like a Christmas tree that slightly respects itself. If I was adding on top of this a confetti, and then I was also adding a crystal power infusion, then, like, I would just be going way over the top. And the looks would be clashing so hard together, and the effects would be clashing so hard together, that I wouldn't really be enjoying it. And as such, I would advise not going for anything more than one of the most expensive infusions. Like, don't go for the crystal infusion because it looks pretty bad in my opinion. But if you're gonna go for a confetti or check exact, just pick one of the two and build around it. As I said, for instance, if I unequip the entirety of my armor, if I remove as well my orange poly, and then I remove also my other trinkets, actually I can keep that, then like you can see that my check infusion looks pretty tame. This looks good. And then the fact that I have Aurora as well looks very good with it. And that's enough. Like, you don't need to put all of the most expensive infusions together just to show off that you've got the money. What you should be focusing on is just getting one as an end goal, and then just building some other fun around it. Don't go too crazy, because going too crazy is only going to ruin it in the end. And that concludes the infusion themes that I had in mind. Now, of course, these are just my ideas. These are just what I take, what I do, what I think looks good together, and you guys can go wild, right? It's your gold, It's your character, it's your look, it's the weapons you have. It's what you want to be in this game. So really make your own looks. Like I've shown off a few infusions, you've seen how they mix and match together, you've seen how I think stuff goes well together, and now go wild. You do you. But this video is not over yet. As I said, we have 2 more things to do. The results of the previous giveaway and talking about the next giveaway that we are doing. First, I'm going to be looking at the results of the previous giveaway. Amount of unique commenters 709. You guys are crazy. You went crazy on this video and I am so hyped for it. So now we're just going to get our 2 winners and see where we go with that. Our first winner is, as you can see on the screen, Ulysse Tesson. I just pronounced this the French way. I hope you were French. I'm really sorry if you weren't. I just French you, whatever. So you are the winner of one of the codes. And now we're gonna be picking the second winner for the gems. And without further ado, let's roll. Our second winner is Bubble Brain, and I guess he's gonna be getting the great news. So these 2 people are very happy winners of gems, and now we're gonna be heading back into the game as I give you the next giveaway announcement. As I said, I have one more announcement to make for you guys, and that other announcement is rather interesting. So if you guys read the Guild Wars 2 subreddit, if you're aware of what happens onto the Guild Wars 2 sphere, then you are sadly aware that the Kung Fu Tea promotion was a wee bit of a disaster for the European people. Not only did we have issues using the app, but then we also realized that we actually weren't meant to. And this is quite a sad thing, because many of us wanted to get that wonderful outfit, and we couldn't. Now I have very luckily gotten my hands on some codes. I'm gonna be giving away 2 of the Dragon Emblem outfit codes. Same as before, you just have to put your account name in the comment section. And this is gonna get you a chance at wearing the incredibly, amazingly crazy Dragon Emblem outfit. I'm gonna be putting it on so you guys can see what it is. But yeah, this dashing piece of clothing brought to you by the graphic designers at ArenaNet is definitely something you will want to get your hands on. So if you don't have a code yet, you know what to do. Account name in the comment section. Now, that marks the end of the video. So if you guys aren't aware, I do streams. I do streams as often as I can during the week, right on Mondays, cooking on Fridays, other stuff in the weekend, other stuff throughout the week, but these 2 are always there. Now this weekend we also have the ARP, the Amateur Raiding Party, organized by Mighty Teapot himself. If you guys are avid raiders, or even completely new to the raiding scene, you might want to watch it. It's going to be crazy, I'm going to be casting in there, it's going to be great content. And then, if you want to support this channel, if you want to support future giveaways, if you want to do other stuff, it's very simple. You can watch this video, you can recommend this video to your friends, you can leave a like on this video, you can put it on repeat on all your devices to get me some crazy ad money, or you can also, you know, just help me out on Patreon. That's also pretty cool. Now, of course, if you actually want to know a bit more about the man behind the videos and the community we have built, you could also be joining our Discord. There is a link in the description. And you know what matters more than all of that chilling? You. I hope that every single one of you is gonna have a great day and make their characters look dashingly amazing.